Hey guys, RC Simon here, and wanted to share a video about pretty much selling your services, right? Mainly about digital marketing, but this can be about anything. The reason why I talk about digital marketing is because that's what I do, and I know it can be pretty congruent with whatever service or whatever product you're selling as well, right? Building it up, especially if you're servicing clients specifically, and this is how to land more clients through testimonials, through results. But let's say you don't have any, let's say you're just getting started, then there's a few key tricks that you can start doing to start building it up, because a lot of people, they want to get sales, they want to get customers right away when they're just getting started. And I'd recommend obviously getting started and really doing your research in the industry before you start going in. And a lot of people like to talk about the different niches, and there's a specific reason why you have to get into different niches, right? Or pretty much hone in and specialize in one, whether it's restaurants, barbershops, auto dealers, or let's say you want to also just help like e-commerce clients, people that are selling their brand online, right? Or maybe even just digital products, personal brands. Me specifically, I help personal brands, I help e-commerce product clients and sell e-commerce products. So that's pretty much my niche, and then I start to really go dive deep because there's already a system. And this is the biggest thing, you got to know and you got to be able to speak their language when it comes to landing these types of clients, right? You have to speak their language, you have to know a little bit about the industry and able to get results and to sell the service to them. So I'm going to be very, very practical when it comes down to it, and especially when it comes down to getting and driving results. So let's say you're just getting started, you don't really know what industry, so you're just tapping in, you're just starting to be a generalist is what they call it. You get into different industries, you're just trying to get a client so you can get some experience. That is okay, but long term, if you're trying to scale it, you're gonna want to figure out what niche you're in, so then on a day-to-day basis you're saving time, you've already built a system, and you understand the industry that you're getting into. I'm gonna really talk about, let's say for example, restaurants. I'm gonna give you an example, or even auto dealerships. These are just really basic examples, but it's gonna give you the framework to get started and to really hone in and pick a niche, pick an industry, so you can start doing your research, you can start developing, and you can start figuring out what services they need, because everyone comes in to this space and they're like, well, I don't know what to sell. Obviously you're not gonna know if you don't really do your research on the industry. So you have to know what the industry is lacking, whether obviously it's going to be leads, but what can you do to offer value as far as driving traffic? Is it because most people in the restaurant niche, they lack a website, or they don't know how to brand their website, or they don't have like an Instagram, they don't have a really good Facebook where they're running a lot of their traffic from, right? And you also will get to understand the type of offers. Like a lot of restaurants, they like to do like a free birthday offer, and I have a lot of these type of ads that I can pretty much give to you guys. I'll be building some free stuff out too. Just to kind of give it, because it's super simple and you can pretty much get a client in any industry. So let's say you're just getting started and you don't know how to sell. Obviously, selling yourself, selling your belief. You're just selling the belief that you can drive results and that you can help them brand. I tell a lot of people, start off with just management and branding, and then you can start upselling, or pretty much just saying, hey, this next month I can do paid traffic for you because your page is traffic ready. So you built out their website, you'd help build and grow their Instagram, their Facebook. Let's say you want to even get into YouTube and help them brand on there, and then they have some sort of presence, so it's ready to drive in traffic on the paid side. And that's what I do. I mostly do just paid traffic now, so I'm very specialized in this special niche and industry as far as like e-commerce and personal brands, because I already have the blueprint. I don't have to go back and reinvent the wheel, right? Because I've already proven the results. So this is where we start talking about results and testimonials, and I started building testimonials, and that's how I'm able to leverage and get higher level clients and close them based on the results and the testimonials that I've been able to generate through the clients and past clients that I have right now. So let's say for example you're getting into the restaurant niche, and you can either choose two different things. So let's say you're going into either building your company's brand or you're building a personal brand, because not everybody wants to build a personal brand. You just want to build a company's brand. If you were to start pitching restaurants, I would start an Instagram foodie page where you can show them your highlights and show them that you can actually brand a page and start an Instagram food page, and then you can use that page to start pitching and reaching out to other clients, and they'll probably like that, right? It builds up social proof. A lot of people, they lack this thing called social proof, and that's where the results and testimonials will actually start to stack up. So you're value stacking your offer, pretty much selling yourself through what you've already built. So it's going to take time. Sometimes you can get a client within the first week getting started, and then some people it takes a few months just because of just how they go about it and what they've been able to build. So it'll take time, but it's worth it. Just like every company, right? I always like to say, hey, how long do you give your average baby before you start walking? Do you say, hey, you got to start walking the first day, the first month, or wait a couple months, couple years? No matter what, that baby's going to start walking overall, and that's exactly how you got to see it as far as the framework to build a business. So let's say you start building out the brand, and then on the Instagram you start just gaining some traction, getting some followers, and then from there you can leverage that type of result that you created to pitch other clients if you're just trying to go more on like the company branding, and that's niche specific. Or let's say auto dealership, you take pics of cars, you start to talk more about cars, and then all these auto dealers, I had a friend that had like a Lexus dealer that he was talking to the marketing manager, and from there he was just able to leverage like his eye, his design, and his marketing through the personal page because he had something tangible to show them. And that's exactly what you need to do for the long term, for the long game, right? So always build something that's going to leverage yourself, whether it's your personal brand, and a lot of people are using personal branding right now because that's where a lot of the trust is. A lot of people on Facebook or Instagram, mainly Instagram, is where a lot of people follow these high level influencers. If you look at your Instagram, do you follow more people or do you follow more brands? People don't like getting sold to brands, but branding, if you don't think you're ready to be a personal brand, is totally fine, where you can brand a company. So that's what I would recommend getting started on, either or. So pick an industry, pick a niche, and you can pick a few, but I'd hone in on one, because once you start as a generalist, you'll be all over the place and it's not going to be scalable. But if you can just start off and then you get a client in whatever industry, choose that industry. Let's say it's dentists, let's say it's lawyers, let's say it's accountants. Choose that industry once you land that first client, and then just hone in and speak their language, learn their language, learn what they need. And that's the biggest thing, is you have to know what these companies and what the industries, depending on where you're going into, what they need in order to start selling them on the services, because people are starting to sell, people don't even know what services they can offer. And that's fine. I mean, if you're just out there and you know how to sell, you know how to talk to people, that's cool. And I made a video about like how sales isn't a bad thing. It's just like a belief. And a lot of people, they'd actually, it's all to like, deep down with how much you believe and how much you can really translate and transmit that energy over to them when you're sitting down or when you're on the phone with them. And people can feel that. Set yourself on fire and people will come just to watch you burn, because they like that passion, they like that energy that people can bring. So this is all I want to share. Number one, pick a niche, right? But even before getting started, if you can't pick a niche, then number one is figure out if you want to start a company brand or if you want to do a personal brand. If I'd recommend personal branding, but if it's not for you, then do a company brand and then just start branding around that. For example, like I said, an IG food page, or like even a fitness page if you want to go into that niche. So pick that niche, start building content around it, and then start leveraging that result. Start leveraging that page to start pitching clients, right? So I pick a niche, right, is number two. And then number three is figure out how you're going to be able to gain results or testimonials for the long term. So that's the goal, because once you're at level one, then you could start gaining higher level clients and pitching bigger companies. It's a process. You're always going to be consistently evolving, but everyone has to start off right on chapter one to get to the next chapter, to get into the next chapter. So don't ever compare your chapter two to someone else's chapter 30. Right? So get started. The biggest thing and the most important thing is you got started and you started building out a result, whether it's even building out a website full of people's results and testimonials that you've been able to share. Boom, you've sent that out. You've already done the work, and you're able to send something to someone that's tangible that they can look over, and then they can hop on the phone with you, and it's easier to close them and it's easier to sell them on the service that you're offering. So I hope this helps, right? So we'll go back to it. Number one is pick whether you want to do personal branding or company branding. Two, finalize on a niche, right? And then strategize on what that niche needs. And then three, go ahead and start gaining results and testimonials for the clients that you're building. Even if it's a portfolio of pictures, photos, videos for them, that's something tangible that you can carry on and leverage for the next sale, for the next client that can come your way. So I hope you guys learned something from this. When you're starting an agency, when you're starting any type of business, just always think long term and think about what it can do for you and your business long term, especially if you're trying to build this for a while, because that's what's going to happen, right? It takes, how long do you give the average baby to walk? It takes a couple years, right? Or a couple months, depends on the baby, right? So just get started, keep going, and just be around like-minded people. That's the biggest thing I can obviously let you guys know as well. So take care. Hope you guys took some value from this. You guys can like, subscribe, comment, and let me know if you have any questions. Much love. God bless you.